Please be seated. Good afternoon and welcome to Baccalaureate Awards for 46 remarkable young women and men, the class of 2022. While at tomorrow's graduation ceremony, we will officially recognize and honor each member of the class of 22 for his or her total body of work while at Eagle Hill. Tonight we gather as friends and family and faculty to pay tribute to the members of the senior class for their individual efforts over the course of this academic year. Students, you are an amazing group of individuals. At first glance, different in so many ways, but when you look beneath the surface, you have all traveled a similar road to get to where you are tonight, the eve of one of the most important days of your lives. You are courageous young men and women who have persevered and triumphed, and we honor you tonight and this entire weekend. Seniors, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on your life before Eagle Hill School. Who were you? Why did you and your family make the trip to Hardwick, Massachusetts? The answer for every single one of you can be summed up in a single word: opportunity. The opportunity to learn and to be considered a learner. The opportunity to explore your full potential and realize success. The opportunity to change the entire course of your lives. And as you first walked up to the front steps of the main house for your admission interview, did you ever really imagine that behind that door stood the answer to your dreams? A school that understood and even honored your learning abilities. Did you ever imagine that there could be a faculty that was willing to give so freely of themselves so you could learn and you could thrive? Did you ever imagine that someday you would walk across a stage and be recognized and applauded for your success in school? Well, tonight, seniors, your dreams become your reality. And each of us in this room are so proud of everything you have accomplished. Pinch yourself, seniors, because over the next 24 hours, your dreams are your new reality. We have an exciting night planned for you. I hope all of you enjoy every moment. And at this time, I would ask Dr. Riendeau to come to the stage to begin the academic awards.
We'll begin with individual recognition. I'll ask each academic advisor to come up, and one at a time, their advisees will come up to be recognized. The first thing that you'll hear is a parting comment for each senior. Many members of the faculty and staff have written parting comments, summing up their time with that senior over 4 or in some cases 5 years. One has been chosen to be shared with everyone tonight, but seniors and parents, make sure that you look at the others that will be part of that folio that you go home with. Begin with Mr. Przypek and his advisees.
Come on up. Sean, yeah. Maybe you could stand like here. Maybe just like line up there. That's what you do, all right? Oh, okay, whatever. Charlie Lesage. Charlie, there are not enough superlatives to describe you. Charlie, during your time here, you have shown yourself to be eminently accomplished, intellectually curious, responsible, friendly, helpful. The list goes on. You truly manifest the core values of our community: honesty, respect, kindness, and purpose. You will be missed, Mr. Przypek. Sean Rabbit. Sean, your passion for history made us kindred spirits right away. and I admire your aptitude more than ever. But over time, I've come to appreciate some of your more subtle qualities. You're kind, thoughtful, honest, and respectful. I wish we could keep you around a while longer. Best wishes, Mr. Przypek. Henry, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you. You are such a solid student, an eminently decent person. You willingly sought out challenges and in the end proved yourself more than capable. You have exhibited all the traits necessary to become an accomplished scholar, earning our admiration all along the way. All the best, Mr. Przypek. Elias, here we are. The years have passed in the blink of an eye. There has been struggle and there has been accomplishment. I want to commend you for your grit and thank you for your honesty, your good nature, and your integrity. Wishing you all the best, Mr. Przypek. And I've got one more, Weston. Are you out there somewhere, Weston? In the audience, I think. Hey guys. Weston. Weston is his own man. He knows what he wants and he advocates for it, sometimes relentlessly. But then I have to admit, whatever he does it really, really well. Keep up that independent spirit and especially with that drive for excellence. Best wishes, Mr. Przypek.
Mr. Blais.
Ethan Butterfield. No, we get three. Ethan, it is genuinely difficult to imagine Eagle Hill without your presence. Over your 5 years here, you have come to be the face of Eagle Hill for me. A warm smile, a kind word for everyone, and occasional good nature but mischievous grin. And the fundamental decency that exemplifies our core values. You will be sorely missed here as you go off to conquer new challenges. I know that you'll find success in everything that you take on and wish you the happiness that you have nurtured for all of us here. NPR. Cam Dyke. Cam, sometimes quiet leaders can be the best leaders. You displayed this so consistently over your years on the wrestling team that I actually still have trouble wrapping my head around it. How many meets did we win because of you? 5? 10? While the exact number is always difficult to say, I will not forget the times that you were able to step up when the pressure was at its highest. Continue being the quiet leader that you are and continue to step up when others might wilt under the pressure. It has been a pleasure having the chance to coach you, and I wish you the best in all that you do. Coach Kelly. Jack Roffler. Roffler, oh Roffler. How quickly 5 years can pass. As I sit here contemplating how to sum your time up at Eagle Hill, I cannot seem to decide what I will miss most about you. It may be your infectious and always great attitude, or the notes, or even how I want to get a quick win of golf every time we play. But that doesn't happen anymore, does it now? You've grown into such a capable young man, Jack, in so many areas. Keep pushing yourself next year. You're so very capable, and I know you'll achieve whatever you want to accomplish. Mr. Bliss.
Mrs. Cranford.
rules. Ash, when I think of you, I always envision a quirky personality, fearless personal style, and boundless energy. These are qualities unique to you that both shape who you are and also how you see the world. I look forward to seeing how that viewpoint of yours will guide you in the future and to seeing all of the fabulous things that I know you're capable of. Thank you for a fun year and all about love, Mrs. Bonica. Proud of you. Jane, I will never forget the first day of school when you came to my office and burst into tears. In fact, I think I burst into tears too. Not kidding. You were so homesick, and it was also my first year at Eagle Hill, by the way, and you just couldn't imagine how you were going to make it through even one more day at Eagle Hill, let alone 4 years. But you did, and you did it with your hallmark resilience and determination. It has been an honor and a privilege. Sorry, I shouldn't have picked my own comment. That's what I get. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve as your advisor, and I can't tell you how many times I have heard, Jane Gerson, nicest girl on the planet, or Jane Gerson, hardest worker I've ever taught. Jane, these qualities are uniquely yours. No one can ever take them away from you, and they are going to carry you so far in life, farther than you could ever imagine, and I can't wait to see it.
Sue, if you could stop with the tissues in a few of the rows back there, that would be helpful, I think. Mrs. Hubacz? I'm just going to explain this, okay? You'll see that this next student is also going to be awarded a core stole. You've heard already a little bit about core values here: honesty, respect, kindness, and purpose. Each year, a group of rising seniors is nominated to be the keepers of those values for the following year. And so those students who are being awarded a stole are students who really are the holders of the core values at Eagle Hill.
Shall I give this now? Yes. To Charlotte Marvin, being a member of the Corps. All right, following in Miss Cranford's steps here, this is going to be a tough one for me. Charlotte, Char Star, 10 seasons in crew, the most of anyone in the history of pioneer rowing. Even though you've never taken my class, we have probably spent more time together than any other pair on campus. Between long practices, overnight trips, and 12-hour regattas on the weekends, we really got to know each other. When Rolo was born and came to crew practice every day, you were the one who volunteered to sit next to his car seat on the bus. I knew that I had the most beautiful spirit caring for him and keeping an eye on him when I was driving. Words that describe our Charlotte are genuine, dependable, smart, responsible, curious, tenacious, unfailingly kind, and now graduate. Best of luck in Maine. I can't wait to see where your journey takes you next. Dr. Miller.
Mr. Kanozek?
Ryan. Ryan, it has been wonderful to see you grow into the young man you are today. While you are relatively quiet in classes, I have learned that you have so much to add to discussions and the understanding of content. You may be a man of few words, but when you speak, people listen. You're a strong leader both in and out of the classroom, and I feel fortunate to have had the chance to work with you. I wish you all the best in your next adventures. Ms. Thompson. Ryan Sarnelli. No, Ryan, I'm not going to cry. Ryan, how is it possible that you are graduating already? I will never forget meeting you in my writing class on the first day of summer school. I have never met anyone who woke up before dawn to mountain bike to watch the sunrise. I remember thinking, this kid's pretty cool. You also taught me new vocabulary such as gnarly, and my whole life I will remember that it is spelled with a G. I know you probably spent way more time with me than you would have liked, but I enjoyed every minute of it. I wish you only the best as you move on from here. Keep being that cool kid who does cool, unique things. Mrs. Bobka. Sanderstein. Sander, I remember Nancy Martin coming up to me in the fall of your freshman year and saying, "Have you met Sander? You two would get along." A few RPG club campaigns and games of Magic the Gathering later, and I would definitely say she was right. It has been awesome watching you grow these past 4 years. If I could show you now a video of you as a 9th grader, you'd probably cringe. Ha ha. But if I showed 9th grade you a short video of 12th grade you, he would probably be wide-eyed at the changes. The next 5 to 7 years are also going to be full of exponential growth. Find people who can help bring that about and give your perspective on your life. I'm honored to have been counted on as your mentor and teacher. Best wishes, Mr. Hopper. Matthew Simons. Matt, what a ride it's been for you here at the Hill. I really cherished our time in Gothic literature class where I truly got to know the real Matt Simons. And you know what? You're a heck of a guy. You survived Dr. Riendeau's essays, survived Dr. B's lab reports, and survived a story from our Gothic lit class about a guy who wakes up one morning as a giant cockroach. So Matt, even though you may not see it or realize it, you survived a lot of what was thrown at you here at Eagle Hill. The road wasn't always smooth, but you managed to pave your way over curbs, speed bumps, and in some extreme cases, giant potholes. But you are still behind the wheel, and you're in charge of wherever that genius, abstract, humorous, kind, and cool brain of yours takes you. Good luck in all your future endeavors, Mr. Kanozek. Tyler Tang. Tyler is also a member of the Corps and will receive his stole. Tyler, I don't want this farewell to be too sappy, too overly humorous, too tear-filled. We've had enough of those. Too deadly serious, or too over-complimentary. So I'm just going to combine them all, because, like everyone else here, seeing you go is producing a flood of these emotions. Tyler, you've heard it over and over what a great kid you are, or how hardworking you are, or how kind you are, or how funny you can be, or how fast you are, or how much you persevere. But you're going to hear it all again from me this one last time. I've been thanked a lot of times in my 20 years in education, and I've held each one near and dear. But this time, I want to switch up the script a bit, and I want to thank you instead. Thanks for all the blood, sweat, and tears you left in the classrooms, within the gym walls, and on the dorm floors. As a student, an athlete, and as a proud member of our coveted corps, the highest achievable rung on our privilege ladder. Throughout all of your numerous achievements here, from academic honors and wins on the mat, to moving on to becoming a battling bishop next year at Ohio Wesleyan University, your greatest achievement of all may be one that you can't even see. And this is what we all owe you a debt of gratitude for, Tyler. You are what it means to be an Eagle Hill pioneer. Our core values of honesty, respect, kindness, and purpose are the same 4 pillars of the life you lived even before you came to us. Therefore, it was easy for me to watch you seamlessly transition and continue upholding these values during your time here. The hard part was hoping you'd be upholding these for all 4 years here, but you managed also to do that and do it to a point that the mere mention of the name Tyler Tang is always followed by a smile or a positive anecdote. So, one last time, Tyler, thank you for being you and making the Hill that much better of a place. Sincerely, Mr. Kanozek.
Dr. Kim.
Jess Brown. Jess, I don't know another student who has taken on tougher books than you have. You chose to read Sophie's Choice and Lolita in back-to-back summers, and you wrote awesome essays about both of them. Thank you also for trusting me to help you write your college essays. I really got to see a different side of you than the attentive student you are in class. My favorite days were when you just couldn't help yourself. You had to take a stand on something Antigone did, or something Offred said, and nobody was going to persuade you otherwise. Be that version of yourself. Take stands, speak up, even with a shaky voice. We believe in you, Mr. Hopper. Jake Jankowski. Jake, I could talk about the joy of working with you on your college applications, but I'd rather talk about the steady, hardworking, and positive vibe you help bring to the Ultimate Team every season, and especially for our first championship Ultimate Team. It was certainly unfortunate that you injured your ankle so early in the first game, but you were a significant part of the team for every year at Eagle Hill, and especially during your senior year. Thank you for that. And maybe you and Ryan could bring your skills to the Lynn Ultimate Team. Best of luck, Mr. Geary. Luca Zappi. Several years ago, I said to Dr. Riendeau, I want to be an advisor so bad. And he was like, no, you're not ready, you're not ready. And then Mr. Hardwick called me and he said, I've got the perfect student for you. It's Luca Zappi. Luca, over the last 2 years in IB Math, you continually impressed me with your knowledge and problem-solving abilities. You really are quite the mathematician, and if you wanted to, you could surely have a successful career in the field. Regardless of what you choose to do, I am confident that if you put your mind to it, you will knock it out of the park. Oh yeah, and make sure to show up on time too. I wish you the best of luck, Blais. I'll see you later.
Mr. Koczur.
Bring me a stool so I can get up. How are you? Ethan White. So I just remarked, thinking about a few years back when he came to school, that he probably would have been passed out on the floor right now. Instead, he's standing here with a smile and waving to everyone. So, my 26 years here, 25 of them I've been an advisor, and I have never, ever met a young man like Ethan. He's the most honest, respectful, truthful young man I've probably ever met, and it's been an honor to be his advisor. He's also a member of the Corps. Ethan White. Ethan, each time I've encountered you, whether in passing at breakfast or in a meeting of the Corps, you have made a meaningful contribution to the life of this school. Your unflappable good humor and quick wit have put a smile on my face more times than I can count, and your sense of fundamental decency as someone charged with safeguarding the school's core values is an example to all of us. You exemplify honesty, respect, kindness, and purpose throughout every moment of every day. Congratulations on your overwhelming success. You deserve everything that you have earned. Dr. Riendeau.
Ms. Linnehan.
Sophia Kedros. Sophia, one of your finest qualities is that you have a heart of absolute pure gold. You have got to be one of the sweetest people I have ever met, who only wants the best for those whom she cares about. Your next best characteristic is your pure determination to grow as a person, and you certainly succeeded in meeting that goal this year. You have come so far as a writer and as a young woman who makes more confident decisions in the writing process. I am very proud of you, and I look forward to hearing about your adventures in the years to come. Mrs. Bonica. Caroline Orand. Caroline, you have impressed me with your kind spirit and the lovely fundraisers you have completed while on campus. As you move forward to your next adventure, I wanted to share one last quote with you. As you recall, I'm a huge positive quote fan, and I love Oprah Winfrey, who says, "Know what sparks the light in you, then use that light to illuminate the world. You are certainly ready to shine. Congratulations on your graduation. I wish you the very best in all that you pursue. Please feel free to drop me an email or pop in to see me if you find yourself back on campus. Fondly, Mrs. Shanks." Congratulations. Christina Rodriguez. Here we go. Christina, throughout the year, you have become a familiar face in my office. Your dedication to making everyone happy is truly astounding. You are caring, kind, reliable, and most of all, curious. Curious in all aspects of life, from academics to social situations. Your ability to see the good in everyone is incredible. You have handled any challenge that has come your way. Even when it was difficult, you still succeeded. Your cheerful demeanor is contagious, and I hope you never lose that characteristic. It has been a pleasure working with you, and I wish you nothing but the best with your future. Ms. Upshaw. Gray Thomas. Gray, it seems to me that you can handle any degree of rigor that is thrown your way if you choose to. Even in times when you refuse to complete the assignment that was posted or answer the question that was given, you still offered some form of witty response that would perfectly demonstrate your advanced level of thinking. I've not seen another student put so much effort into intentionally answering a question incorrectly to demonstrate another point they felt strongly about. To be fair, most of your efforts in our class served to help you better understand targeted material, which I appreciated as a teacher. Your occasional efforts to rebel against the status quo, I appreciated as a person. You should count on finding a whole new environment at Northeastern, where you may find that some professors will support this, while others may not be so willing. I trust you will have the good sense to distinguish between them. Make efforts to get to know your professors and make sure they know who you are before you give them a piece of your mind on one of their exams. The importance of building trusting relationships goes far beyond the EHS campus and the 99 Adirondack chairs on the Northeastern campus. Mr. Ward.
Dr. Miller.
Howard Brown. Howie, born under the sign of outcast, the rogue watcher of everything Marvel, the keeper of knowledge. These are your Homeric epithets. It has been amazing to have shared a class with you every year since 10th grade. I admire your ability to make connections between the ancient and contemporary worlds. Your voices brought a bevy of characters to light, from the classics from Accountant Achilles to Bro Oedipus. As president of the film club, just about every week we presented at the all-school meetings, people would come up to me and say how much they enjoyed our pitches. It meant a lot to me, but the truth is that everyone saw the essential you that I knew was always there. Thank you for trusting us with the gift of your Howiness. I don't think the world is ready for it. Let's stay in touch. You're the man, Mr. Hopper. Sophia Cranford. And Sophie is a member of the Corps. I'm not going to look at you because your mom got me started. Sophie, to look back 5 years and take stock of your achievements is a breathtaking exercise. As an 8th grader, you were shy and retiring, politely demurring in abject terror at every opportunity to be in the spotlight or assert your point of view. You were so allergic to praise from your teachers that I sometimes hesitated to tell you you had written a solid essay or made a key point in class. To see you now producing exceptional academic work and taking genuine pride in that work reminds us all of what a rare privilege it is to work with such an extraordinary student in such a unique setting. Before you think I've gone completely soft, I'll remind you that over the years, you've shed enough tears to fill a hydro flask many times over. And they were tears well spent. Despite my bluster to the contrary in the moment, it wasn't easy, at least not always, to see you tearful. But making your way through those difficult moments has resulted in a kind of strength and self-reliance that can often elude us. Congratulations on a job well done, Soph. Dr. Riendeau. Eden Gesund. Eden, after all these years of volleyball together, it's only fitting that we finally got to have a class in your senior year. You've been a wickedly funny athlete, so it was not surprising to see that same sense of humor come into the classroom. You immediately engaged with a lot of the ethical debates that came up in our class through various texts. And I could always count on you to provide a snarky yet insightful observation that 100% fit the bill. Thank you for making me look at texts through your eyes and consider them in a different way. Good luck next year and stay in touch, Mrs. Bonica. Sophie Goldberg. Sophie, our time together in class was not what I would have hoped for. I wanted to spend more time getting to know you and hearing what you have to share with the world. You are a force to be reckoned with. You speak your mind and you hold others accountable for what you think is right. You are a leader within our community, and you have the strength and courage to change the world for the better. Don't ever let that change. Fight for what you believe in, and know that you have the support of many. I look forward to hearing how you will impact the world outside of EHS. You are the change we want to see in the world, Ms. Thompson. Audrey Plum. Audrey is a member of the Corps. Audrey, the magnificent Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "You must do the things you cannot do, you think you cannot do." I am not so sure this quote applies to you. I don't think I've ever heard you hint that a task may be impossible for you. Difficult, perhaps. Impossible, that word seems to not appear in your vocabulary. You seem to have persevered regardless of all the work teachers have assigned without letting it crush you. The stoicism in tackling academic and theatric challenges is why I do not doubt you in your pursuit of college, not for a minute. You have made a lasting impression as an outstanding actor and an all-around lovely student that every teacher was happy to have in class. As you enter your college years, I wish you the best. Make a grand entrance and unforgettable memories, Mrs. Riendeau. And Helen Sanford. Helen, you have been an absolute joy to have for math class. I mean, we could have been together for 3 full-year courses. I've always admired your calm, cool, and collected attitude. Every single day you arrive to class with a smile on your face and quietly pay attention to gain more knowledge, completing every assignment and solving all the problems. No one could ask for a better student. Over time, you have gained the confidence to answer questions. Look at you now, arriving to class discussing trigonometry and wanting clarification on why is that the solution. Always remember, the right angle to approach a difficult problem is the triangle. Helen, you will accomplish all that you choose to do as you continuously give everything until you succeed. Mrs. Nastasi.
Mrs. Riendeau.
Jonathan Haskett. Jonathan, your cheerful and calm presence in my class helped the class to brighten up. Your kind mind and positive attitude about learning were invaluable and set a positive environment for the whole class. Jonathan, You were a true star of my class and influenced everybody by showing your actions and ethics. I believe that you will succeed in all your future endeavors with this attitude and effort. It surely was a great and pleasant year with you. I will truly miss you a lot. Dr. Wong. Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden, I know mathematics is not an easy subject for you, but you put in a great amount of effort and finished the course successfully. Remember that sometimes understanding comes after struggling and persevering until you get it. Your effort did not betray you in the long run. Thanks, Aiden. It was a great and pleasant year with you in my pre-calculus class. I will never forget your sincere and kind mind. I hope you will be successful in your future endeavors with the same attitude and spirit. Dr. Wong. Ainsley Rotundo. Ainsley, from your first term at EHS to your last, I've gotten the chance to witness a huge transformation in you. While you are still relatively quiet, you are more willing to share pieces of who you are and advocate for yourself in the strongest of ways. You bring so much light into the classroom, whether it's your sense of humor or your willingness to take academics seriously, but not too seriously. What's the fun in that? You have a presence wherever you go. I wish you all the best in your next adventures. Mrs. Thompson. Tejas Varma.
Two quick things. First, I want to say, Ainsley, I did not find you all that quiet. It's true. And secondly, you'll see in a moment that Tejas will receive a medal from the International Baccalaureate Association signifying his completion of the full diploma program.
Tejas, the personal growth you have made over the last 2 years is the type of thing that teachers hang their hats on at the end of the day. You are a true inspiration to those around you, and you are living proof that if you just put the work in, you can genuinely change your trajectory. As you probably know, I am proud of the young man you have become, and I have zero doubts that whatever you choose to do, you will succeed. I will miss our arguments in your company, and I expect to read great things about you in the future. Mr. Blais.
Dr. Stone.
Maxime Booneman. Maxime is a member of the Corps. Maxime, it's hard to believe that you are graduating. I remember meeting you in my writing class that first day of the summer program when your witty sense of humor won me over. I also enjoyed learning about your family and culture in Germany. To this day, that was probably one of the most entertaining groups of students that I have ever worked with. The year I had you in class again and we moved to online schooling during a worldwide pandemic, you did it with ease and grace even though you were attending classes at the end of your day. Maxime, it was an absolute pleasure having the opportunity to be your teacher. I know that you will go on to win more people with your welcoming smile and humor. That is what our world needs more of. I will miss that smile around here and would love it if you would send me an email every now and then to let me know what you are up to. Mrs. Bobka.
Ms. Thompson.
Thank you. Diamond James. Diamond is a member of the Corps.
Thank you.
Sorry, my hands are cold. Diamond, you are extraordinary, and I feel blessed to have had the chance to spend these years with you. It is rare to meet someone who knows her own mind as surely as you do, and who nevertheless finds a way to hear the ideas, the anxieties, and the triumphs of others with such genuine empathy. Your kindness and your laser-focused mind will be missed as you look to new challenges and adventures, and I hope that we will always be a part of those experiences, as you will forever be for us here. I wish you every success and happiness. NPR.
Thank you.
Nia McInnes. Nia is a member of the Corps. Nia, you are a remarkable person. I'm sure I've never met a student more fully engaged in the life of a school than you. A class roster with your name on it is the envy of every teacher, and the coach who sees your name on a team roster smiles and breathes a little easier. In short, your commitment to a campus event is the mark of a future success, and over the years, you have committed yourself to more events and projects than I can name. Nia, for me, you are the embodiment of the EHS spirit, and I am beyond confident that that spirit will take you wherever you choose to go in life. Congratulations, NPR.
Mr. Ward.
Owen George. If you ever get a chance to hear this kid play the drums, you're lucky. Owen, to think when you started in 8th grade, I'd stood taller than you. Well, no more. You may think of your high school years as a time when you physically grew tall, but please remember your equally important growth in academic and social areas. I remember very well those moments when you thought about the work you were doing for me and you said, "Am I doing better now, right?" You questioned, but you also began to show increased confidence. You know that you still have things to learn, but it has been clear to me that you always wanted to improve, and that is important. Owen, strive to find what you are passionate about. Your explorations next year will help show the way. All the best, Mrs. Welsh. Nick Keller. Nick earns the IB medal for the completion of the IB diploma program. Nick is also a member of the Corps. Nice. Nick, it hardly feels like 4 years have passed since I first took you on as my academic advisee. You are one of the kindest, hardworking young men I've ever had the opportunity to work with. I feel so fortunate to have had the opportunity to work with you on so many levels here. First as your advisor, then as your golf coach, and finally as your IB biology instructor. I'm so proud of your commitment to take on the IB diploma program over the past 2 years. Your consistent work ethic, coupled with your unflappable determination to take on difficult curriculum, qualified you as a suitable candidate for the task. I was particularly impressed with your photography display from the visual arts component of the IB. I know my biology class may have presented some of your greatest challenges, and I really appreciate all the efforts you put into our class every day for the past 18 terms. The challenge of taking on college-level work for the past 2 years should make your transition to TCU next year rather seamless. I'm going to miss you in my classroom and on the golf course next year. Your contribution to our golf program went so far beyond your skill as a golfer. You were an outstanding team captain and role model for the younger players. Your capacity to model the school's core values for the underclassmen seemed effortless. This is likely because honesty, respect, kindness, and purposes have always been a part of your core as a person. Our community is a better place today thanks in large part to your contributions over the past 4 years. On behalf of the entire EHS community, we offer our sincerest gratitude and best wishes for your continued success. That's me.
Thank you.
Wade Schroth. After so many years, it's hard to believe you're graduating. I feel so fortunate to have had the opportunity to travel around the world with you. Australia, Fiji, and Belize were a total blast, and I'm sure we would have done much more had we not been held back by the pandemic. When we weren't traveling the globe, we were out on the golf course. This last year, as your coach, it seems that something finally clicked for you. You've been so much more willing to accept feedback on your game, and you're a better player today because of it. I can say with some confidence that you hit the longest ball perhaps in team history. Don't forget that while your golf ball may have plenty of airmail, it is more important that it have the correct address. I'm confident that you are likely responsible for many golf balls with an EHS logo on them, ending up so deep in the forests of Belchertown that only the local wildlife will ever find them. What I'm most proud of, Wade, is how you handled your academics from the very start. You have always been a serious and engaged student, and the grades on your transcript reflect that consistent effort. You had straight A's, by the way. Just letting you know. All A's. All. He's like, yeah, I know. Thanks for making my job as your academic advisor an easy one, as I so rarely needed to push you academically, given your innate sense of accountability. Your consistent work ethic and willingness to engage in class will serve you well next year at Chapman. Thanks.
Ms. Whitaker?
Rowan Bernier. Rowan, I cannot believe it's been 5 years. 5 years of pure joy and tranquility, right? Let's be honest. This has probably been the 5 most challenging years of your life. I hope you've appreciated that and the hard. It's the hard that makes it worth doing. The hard that builds character, grit, and resilience. You have all these qualities and a charismatic personality to boot. You are equipped with all the strengths that you need to be successful in life, and I have complete faith that you will accomplish all your goals. Remember, be flexible, patient, and steadfast. Your path may not always be easy, but continue to believe in yourself as much as we all believe in you, and everything will be okay. That's for me. Chiara Lonaro. Chiara, my quiet in-class, but not so much outside of class student. I loved when you finally felt moved to share your thoughts in class and hope that you will bring the confidence you found with us to share your wisdom as you move forward in your next adventures. As you know, I love quotes, so I found one last quote to share with you. Another from Oprah, in fact. Your life is about learning to become more of who you are and fulfilling the highest, truest expression of yourself as a human being. Kiara, you are now ready to venture outside of my classroom and our EHS community to fulfill your highest, truest expression of yourself. I look forward to hearing what it is you decide to pursue. Always feel free to email or pop in to visit. Congratulations on your graduation. Mrs. Shanks. Samantha Resnick. Sam, although you are often the quietest student in the room, that reserved classroom presence hides a mind full of ideas that you pour into your writing. It was so fun to read your work in sports journalism this year and see the enthusiasm and joy that you took away from learning about some athletic feats that you had never considered before, like climbing Mount Everest or watching the Paralympics. I hope you keep that love of learning in your life after EHS because it will take you far. Ms. Bonica. Mason Rice. Mason, countless times I have witnessed your kindness within our community. Your first summer, you engaged with classmates by sharing your curiosities and listening sincerely to theirs. Around campus, you offer your help or a smile to brighten others' days. In our classes together, you always shared concern for others and went out of your way to help others feel important. You are the type of person we need more of in our world. I'm going to miss your presence on our campus next year, and I wish nothing but the best for you in your next adventures. Ms. Thompson.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And Declan Kenny. Should I show the video? No. Definitely not. Declan, although you were elusive at first, now that I've had the past year or so to work with you, I've come to appreciate your unfailingly polite and pleasant manner. You were always cheerful, whether in class or when we met to work on your applications. Your easygoing nature belies a deep awareness of the plight of others, as evidenced in your college essay, from which I learned about the concept of hostile architecture and how it negatively impacts the homeless in Boston. Your kindness and sincerity when dealing with others is refreshing and much needed. I wish you much success in your future at Sacred Heart and beyond. Please always stay in touch. Mrs. Gowdy.
Thank you very much.
This next group of awards is in recognition of those students who have shown special achievement and commitment to a particular department. These are awarded by each department in the school, some of which were awarded earlier in the week at the All School Awards, but many of them go to students tonight. We'll begin first with Mrs. Whitaker for Pragmatics.
The Pragmatics Department Award goes to a student who embodies the strengths of a growth mindset, resilience, grit, healthy communications skills, and of course, kindness. The first time I met the recipient of this award was 4 years ago. That first meeting lasted one class period. She had been escorted to class by her advisor, teary-eyed and weary, and spent the entire class with her head down on the table. Later that day, I received an email from her advisor telling me that she wanted to drop the class. It was a coping with stress class. and she was too stressed with the newness of campus and being away from home that she just the name of the class stressed her out. She promised she'd try it again later in the year, which she did. In fact, she took every course the Pragmatics department offered. We've gotten to know each other very well over these past 4 years, and she never ceased to amaze me. She is one of the most resilient people I've ever met. And just a few weeks ago, in our last class together, a verbal communications class, she once again amazed me with her strength and just directness. When a student, she was sharing how she was feeling that day, and it wasn't so great. We were doing our check-ins, and she was trying to, kind of express the feelings that she was feeling, and her peer next to her said, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's like when you feel like really frustrated and you don't feel like anyone's like, really paying attention. And this person just calmly looked and said, and I don't need anyone talking for me, thank you very much. Watch out, world, because here comes Jane Gerson.
For the math department, Mr. Blais.
As you can tell by all the comments that were read, it was pretty difficult to choose a winner this year. Plenty of honorable mentions, but I'll save us some time and not name everyone up there. So each year, the math teachers get together and we try to decide which student is most deserving of this award. We all sit around and we argue our points on why our nominee deserves it more than others. But this year, when I nominated this student, there was no need to argue my points. Every teacher in the room and every teacher out there who has ever taught this student knows exactly why they're winning this award. This student is passionate about learning, extremely dedicated to her studies, and is quite frankly the hardest working person I pretty much have ever had the privilege of teaching. The winner of this year's math award goes to Audrey Plum.
For physical education, Mrs. Coughlin.
He comes into the gym quietly, but with a purpose. Usually has his bucket hat on and those beautiful locks underneath. But don't let that fool you. He's coming to play. Ryan has been in the gym a lot this past year. Each time he was prepared and his effort is just outstanding. He's a very quiet guy, but he likes to compete in class. He was a bit more smiley the past few weeks, but that's what earning the SENE Player of the Year for Ultimate Frisbee will do to you. The Physical Education Award goes to Ryan Fleming. Congratulations.
Thank you.
There's a hat.
And for the science department, Mrs. Groner.
When this student's name came up in our department discussion of who should get the award this year, the response was basically unanimous. Unlike the math department, we don't fight it out in person. We like to reply all on emails, but immediately they flooded in, yes, this person's it. So, you know, she has just been incredibly consistent in her care and effort in all of her science courses. She's earned an A in every single one, and she's taken lots of very challenging courses. She just completed NAMI this year, has taken many of our offerings as electives, and just, you know, just phenomenal all the time, and just very consistent. In fact, in reading some of her reports, her NAMI teacher noted that she was consistent all the way up to the last day of class, so no senioritis, which I think should be an award unto itself, but it will suffice to be in this one. So this year's Science Department Award goes to Audrey Plum.
Thank you so much.
Oh my God, congrats.
Mr. Hopper, could you come up to present the classics certificates?
Good afternoon. I'm Thomas Hopper. I teach in the English department. And I'm going to give an award called the Classics Certificate. It's designed to promote the study of the literature and languages of the ancient Mediterranean. There are two tracks that students can take to earn the certificate. The first is the languages track. They take Latin 1, Latin 2, Latin 3, and they average a B+ in them. The second track is the literature track. And there's one classics course that's offered every year. It ranges from mythology to philosophy to drama and classical epic. So we have 3 students who are going to be receiving the Classical Literature Award. And we have 2 students who have achieved both of those tracks, both the classical languages and the Classical Literature Award. This does go on their college transcript for all to see. And I want to thank the administration and the faculty for continuing to support the certificate. So if I could have Howie Brown, Maxime Bunneman, Charlie Lestage, Audrey Plum, and Sean Rabbit. So Charlie, Sean, and Audrey all received the Classical Literature Certificate. And yes, do give it up for Maxime and Howie, who took Latin 1, 2, and 3, and then read a whole lot of old stuff. You please quiz them about it later.
Mrs. Coughlin, could you come up to do the athletic awards?
I'm going to present 2 awards this evening for a male and a female Athlete of the Year. Athlete of the Year is a student athlete who exemplifies what it means to be a pioneer, a team member who makes a significant impact on his team or her team in a positive way. Someone whose contributions are measured not only in wins and losses, but in commitment, sportsmanship, and leadership attributes. The first award is presented to a student who came here as a little girl and has grown into quite a young lady in and out of the athletic program. Although she may be quiet and shy, she's made quite an impression on her coaches. Here are a few things they wanted to share about her. She's the type of athlete that coaches dream of having on their team. She's one of the hardest working swimmers and a pleasure to work with. She does it all with a smile, no complaints, even after some very challenging workouts. She was a natural leader, would step in when there was a need without being asked. Her swim coach's favorite story happened this past season when she approached him on the pool deck before practice and told him She felt the team needed more conditioning drills to increase their endurance. Coach was so proud that she identified a need not only for herself but her teammates and wanted to make sure they had the training that they needed to succeed. She started off her Eagle Hill volleyball career as a quiet, shy girl who didn't have a ton of confidence in her own abilities. However, in her own unassuming way, she chipped away at learning the skills to become a confident and talented setter. She stayed after practice to work with Coach on her skills. Even more impressively, though, she grew to become a respected leader on the team. While she will never be the loudest voice in the room, when she speaks, her team hears it and they respond. Her presence on the volleyball court and in the pool will be missed for so many reasons next year, both in terms of her athleticism and her influence on her teammates. I am proud to present the Female Athlete of the Year Award to Sophie Cranford. This young man came into Eagle Hill School as a cute little boy from California. We knew right away that he was an athletic kid, but convincing him to play sports took a little bit of work. He joined the boys varsity basketball team 3 years ago and has grown as an athlete, winning 2 RVAL championships during his stint, but more importantly, growing into a confident young man. He led our team as a co-captain this year and worked hard to help out his teammates on and off the court. He finally decided to try out for the soccer team, something we had tried for years to get him to do. In his first season with the team, he was immediately an impact player. He stepped into an unfamiliar defensive role, demonstrated an ability to compete at a very high level with the most skilled teams that we played against. In addition to the skill and the physicality that he brought to each game, he was incredibly coachable and a team leader on and off the field. He was emblematic of what a leader of a tennis team should be. He focused on his own game in order to improve, but he never got too high, never got too low. He made a point of watching his teammates play. He encouraged them, and he offered advice based on his knowledge and his experience. While many of his teammates did these things from time to time, he was the one who did them at every match and at every practice. We will miss you, you little gym rat. I'm proud to present the Male Athlete of the Year to Rowan Bernier.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Crystal Kelly. I'm the Assistant Head of School for Student Life, and I'm going to be giving out the Ronald M. Baglio Student Life Leadership Award. For 16 years, Assistant Headmaster for Student Life, Ron Baglio, championed the cause of the Eagle Hill School student body. He modeled patience, compassion, and empathy in a manner that made our students feel respected. Generous with his time, good humor, and goodwill, Mr. Baglio made each and every student with whom he interacted feel important and at ease. To this day, we honor and mirror his dedication and commitment to our students' interests by, in his words, doing what is right always. The Ronald M. Baglio Student Life Leadership Award is given to one male and one female student of the senior class who serve as role models for all students of Eagle Hill School. They are standard bearers in areas of participation, reliability, enthusiasm, and dedication. Before I share a little bit about each recipient, I wanted to say a little something about this class as a whole. As we were looking at all these awards, we had the opportunity to share stories about so many members of this class. Yep, okay. There are so many ways that they, as individuals and as a group, have impacted this campus and the people with whom they share it. In my 18 years at Eagle Hill, there has always been a moment when the tears start. The moment where my heart accepts that things are about to change. This moment, as I was walking around the dorms, I passed Butters in the stairwell, and I got the smile and a "Hi, Mrs. Kelly." And I had this flash of this little boy sitting with me at the airport, just talking about whatever came to his mind. And before he would go on the plane, he would always turn around and say, "Thank you, Mrs. Kelly. Have a great break." I started to think about all of you who came to us as these little kids. Some scared, some ready, some not trusting that we would actually care, that we would actually love you. And that was the challenge. To walk this path together, to climb the mountains, to reach out a hand, to learn from each other, to love and care. As you can see with our shaky voices and the tears in our eyes, the challenge was accepted. There are all kinds of leaders in this world. There are leaders who will get up on stage to perform a speech. There are leaders who will run into the fire. There are leaders who walk among us and quietly guide and support those around them. There are leaders who can shift the energy in a room just by walking into it, sometimes with their own theme music, whether it is the music only they can hear or audible to everyone around them. The first R&B award recipient certainly has her own theme music, PYT by Michael Jackson, as we all learned this past weekend. As I was trying to organize my thoughts about Nia to share something coherent with all of you, I found it ironic that I kind of wish she was sitting in my office to bounce ideas off of. So I turned to the very next thing for inspiration and I Googled, what does Nia mean? If you look up what Nia means, you will find a couple different things: purpose, resolve, brilliance, bright, and luck. Urban Dictionary would define Nia as an open-minded person that has a deep insight on the personalities of others. Highly respected and adored, a Nia could rule the masses. Always having something new and exciting to do, Nias are beautiful people. Her personality is exceptionally unique. Nia will make you laugh. She will make you think. Ironically, NIA also means National Intelligence Agency, which provides timely, insightful, objective, and relevant intelligence to inform decisions. I think we can all agree that this is a pretty good synopsis of who our Nia is. However, when I think about our Nia, I think back to the moments when she would stop in a teacher's classroom to see if there was something she could do to help. I think of the moments when she jumped in to take the lead of any project, when she thought no one was watching and she supported a peer, when she answered a phone for a staff member who was juggling several things happening at once. I think of laughing at the moon, or maybe it was the sun. I think of hugs. To me, she is most summed up by one distinct moment a couple weeks ago. I was sitting in my office late and she walked in. She told me I needed to go home. It was late. I gave my, yep, got 25 more things to do and then I'm off. She quietly nodded, stood in front of my desk, started to pack my things in my bag, handed it to me and said, "Mrs. Kelly, it's time to go home." She recognized what I needed and she made it happen. That level of caring for another human being embodies who Ron was. In fact, I think he might have done that to me, that exact same thing. The 2022 R&B Award is being presented to Nia McInnes. I expect to pass through this world but once. Any good, therefore, I can do, or any kindness or abilities that I can show to any fellow creature, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again. This quote by William Penn, to me, sums up Charlie's stage and how he interacts with the world around him. When we shared stories about Charlie, there were several that stood out, and I believe they capture who this young man has been to Eagle Hill. Mr. Przypek. Charlie has been the most helpful, reliable, enthusiastic student I have known for a long time. During our last blizzard, Charlie volunteered to grab a shovel and keep the walkways and steps cleared. He did this for hours, long after maintenance had gone home. He literally worked for about 8 hours in the freezing cold and in all parts of campus, not seeking the spotlight. No one asked him to do it. Mr. Hop, it's tough to put into words the impact Charlie has had on me as a teacher. I will forever be grateful for our conversations, brainstorming, dreaming up crazy things to build. Charlie immediately puts others' needs in front of his own. Just about every day he came into the makerspace and he would ask, anything need to be done? When a class with multiple first-time welders is in the shop, he asks if it would be helpful to split the group into two, and he takes a group. I'm so impressed with his ability and willingness to teach others a new skill. His ability to connect with both peers and adults has been such a huge asset to the makerspace and our community at large. Mr. Leva, I am forever grateful to have worked with Charlie on the dorm floor. Although he was a student, he became my right-hand man and de facto leader among his peers during the pandemic when our dorm floor had to be separated into two houses. I would casually observe Charlie keeping his peers' morale up with a quick joke or generously sharing his stash of food to ease the transition of our divided dorm. Charlie's innate ability to connect with his peers and staff alike is a godsend for our community. There are many examples of Charlie jumping into action with his altruistic nature. Often you see Charlie helping a peer after a rough day, or he would rally his peers and organize countless paintball games. Often Charlie would ask me if I needed help with anything whatsoever on the dorm. Charlie's integrity as a student is unmatched in my 22 years at Eagle Hill. We are certainly glad and thankful that Charlie spent time with us. Our second RMB award recipient was also voted most likely to be there when you need them by his peers. It's Charlie Lesage.
Every single person in this room has benefited from the positive role models at one point or another in his or her life. I have certainly benefited from the experience and wisdom of many people in this room. Graduates, one of the keys to your futures will be to surround yourself with people who are of unquestionable character and to separate yourself from those who are not. Tonight, the class of 2022 has invited a member of the Eagle Hill faculty to impart one final piece of wisdom. And this year's final lesson will be taught by a man who's completing, with many more years to go, his 25th year at Eagle Hill, during which he also served our country on 2 separate tours of duty in Iraq and Guantanamo Bay. Please join me in welcoming Naval Chief Petty Officer, retired, and Eagle Hill Educator Extraordinaire, Dr. Eric Stone.
Just because it'll be easier to look at you than out there. First, let me say I am truly, and I don't use this word lightly, honored to be here in front of you, your families, my fellow faculty, and invited guests. My talk starts with a snippet of a poem that has rattled around in my head since I read it. The line comes from a poem entitled Pursuit by Stephen Dobbins. It says, "Each thing I do, I rush through so I can do something else." This one line got me thinking about all the time that we, that's all of us, fail to live in the moment. How many times have you said, I can't wait for the day to be over. I can't wait until the weekend. I can't wait until vacation. I can't wait until fill in the blank. I've been saying to students over and over again not to rush through life. The next thing isn't always the better thing than you're doing right now. The hope that it will be, or the possibility that it will be, is always there, but it minimizes the here and now. Maybe the older we get, the more we realize that the here and now is good enough. At least I think so. But even I forget to take my own advice. Here's a good example. I had to stop myself during the writing and practicing of this talk from saying, I can't wait until this is over so I can enjoy the day. Instead of feeling good about the process and being selected by you to give this talk. Maybe you're thinking the same thing right now. I can't wait until Stone is done so I can go pack up, be with my family, get graduation over with, so I can do what I want to do now and then next year. My hope is that at least once this weekend, you will stop and appreciate what you have in a particular moment. The presence of your family, the nervous jitters, the anticipation of finishing high school, and certainly the love of your friends. It's important because you will never feel this feeling again. Sure, you'll graduate college or other programs or finish training somewhere, but you will never again get to feel the moment of graduating high school or this particular moment right now. This got me thinking about moments in life and got me reminiscing about parenthood. I was speaking to Dr. Miller about the invasion of our children into our beds in the middle of the night and the chaos that it causes in the form of no blankets, kicks to the kidneys, 9 inches of sleeping space, or the occasional foot in the face. All 3 of my children at some point in their childhood climbed into bed with my wife and me, sometimes all 3 at once. And then it stopped. I remember thinking when my youngest Nathan was 8 or so, that any night he came into our bed could be the last time he did it. I can't tell you what the last time was like. In fact, I can't tell you when it was, just that it stopped. For as much of an inconvenience as it was when it was happening, I will never get those times back. Look around. This is the second to last time that you'll all be together as a class. Isn't this a moment worth remembering? Is it worth rushing through just to get to tomorrow? I started thinking about my childhood and significant moments. A part of it, I think, is that I often ask myself, what moments, when I was your age, would I want to hear about from someone like me? I had sort of a mixed childhood in terms of stability. My grandparents raised my sister and me because both of my parents were battling alcoholism and drug addiction. The transition to living with my grandparents and my alcoholic father happened for me in the 3rd grade. I learned about living in the moment because I never knew what the next moment would bring. Despite my grandparents providing a solid home life, I still had to contend with a father who, at any moment, could be drunk or going through withdrawal. The alcoholic seizure started when I was 12, and I knew during any of his abstinence cycles he could have a seizure. I savored the moments of calm when he was neither drinking nor withdrawing. When these moments occurred, he was the father he was supposed to be. But when he wasn't, let's just say I have a lot of bad memories of him. Like going to parent-teacher nights with him drunk, or showing up at my high school football games drunk, or the last time I saw him alive. A long story short, I was 26. He was living in a room and house by this time, drinking himself out of family home and out of his girlfriend's apartment. I picked him up for Easter dinner at my grandmother's house, but he couldn't make it past the first course. He was withdrawing from alcohol and he was suffering from the shakes and vomiting. I remember I was pretty upset with him for ruining yet another family function, and because I had to leave and take him back to his room and house 40 minutes away. I gave him a few bucks, told him I would see him later. No I love you, no goodbye. I'll see you later. 2 weeks later, I got a call at work from my wife saying that the police had found him dead. He had been lying there for 2 or 3 days. That was the first night I cried since I was a little boy. I don't know if it was because he had died or if it was because of our last meeting. I still don't. My point, I guess, and I've thought about this a lot, is even when things seem like they're bad, we owe it to ourselves to live in the moment. I remember that I cried and I allowed myself to feel sadness that night and not push it away. Would I have felt differently if I had said something other than see you later? I don't know. Maybe. Perhaps. Would I focus on the bad memories like this one instead of the good ones that I also had despite his alcoholism? I don't know, but it does shape the way I approach life right now. I realize over time that I don't have to regret the past or ignore it, but rather try to live in the moment. And when I catch myself wishing for the weekend or vacation or for a lousy situation to end or whatever, I try to stop those thoughts and key in on the here and now and feel whatever it is I'm supposed to be feeling. If you think about it, everybody's obsessed with time. Think of all the sayings or phrases associated with time. Time waits for no one, time is money, running out of time, overtime, ticking like a time bomb, time stamp, time flies, or songs. One moment in time, closing time, baby one more time, one last time, or who could forget Time Flies by Drake? And the list goes on and on. Believe me, I looked it up. And of course, it's in literature from poems to novels, which brings me to my next piece of advice. And once again, I can't take credit for it being original thought. I read it in a novel and the words resonated with me. And more importantly, I think it's perfect advice. The line goes something like, do you know what the two most powerful words are in the English language? I know what some of you are thinking, and the first word does not rhyme with truck. The two most powerful words in the English language are next time. You might be thinking, what's so powerful about those two words? Those two words allow you infinite possibilities. They allow you to make a mistake. They allow you to pick yourself up and try again. Screw up a test, next time. Make a mistake at home or on the job, next time. Say something you shouldn't have said, next time. The words don't absolve you from the mistake or the error, but they give you the opportunity to get better the next time you do whatever it was you messed up. You are not defined by your mistakes, nor are you limited by them. You have the power to make changes, to try something new, to approach any circumstance with optimism because you know that you have the chance to improve. You, of course, have to learn from mistakes, own them, apologize if warranted, but you have an opportunity to do it again and do it better. We all make mistakes, facts, as you kids like to say. But you don't have to be afraid of taking risks or making those mistakes if you know those two words exist. Remember, next time. The last thing I want to talk to you about relates to time as well. This deals with the giving of time. Give yourself time to explore new things and ideas. Give yourself space to grow. Give yourself time to develop into the young men and women you are supposed to be, not some Instagram version of you. Give back to your community in any way you can. Feed the needy, visit the elderly, volunteer at an animal shelter. It boils down to taking time away from you and giving it to others. This will help you see who you are, make you right-sized, and it will slow you down. More importantly, it will allow you to see that you are not the center of the universe, as impossible as that may seem to you right now. You need to figure your life out. Do it on your own terms and your own timetable. Don't worry about what others are doing around you. So in case you were actually thinking about tomorrow and not paying attention to me, here are the major points of my talk. Don't rush to the next thing. Live in the moment. Give yourself some time to figure out who you are and who you want to be. Give your time to people and institutions in your community that need it. And remember, you always have next time. Thank you.
You ready?
Oh, ready?
That was both personal and powerful. Just a small token of our appreciation. Dr. Eric Stone, Baccalaureate speaker, Eagle Hill School, May 20th, 2022. I will tell you it's rare when I need the tissues. So a couple of announcements before we close. First of all, this group of students deserves immense credit for being a high schooler at a boarding school, 2.5 years with COVID, they were extraordinary. And on behalf of the faculty, we are truly grateful for the way you handled yourselves.